Imagine a car that looks like it was designed by a future visionary, but also it drives like it just came out of a high-speed dream sequence. We're talking about the Mark I Audi TT Quattro, the car that made heads turn and hearts race. From its controversial beginnings to becoming a timeless icon, this car wasn't just about being pretty, it was a game changer. Stick around and you'll see exactly why this little Audi stole the show, one twisty road at a time. Let's kick things off with the essentials. The Audi TT Quattro, particularly the Mark I, hit the streets in 1998. The coupe version first, and then the Roadster came a year later. Built on the same platform as the Golf Mark IV and the Audi A3, this little beast was Audi's attempt to shake up the sports coupe market. It had the looks, it had the tech, and it had the performance to back it all up. But what really set the TT apart? The Quattro all-wheel drive system, of course. Audi's legendary all-wheel drive made its debut in this compact machine, instantly elevating it from just another stylish car to something that could actually handle itself on the road. And let's not forget, its distinctive design turned it into an automotive icon almost overnight. Now let's talk numbers, because we all know the real reason we love cars is how they perform, right? Under the hood, the Audi TT Quattro came with a few different options to make sure there was something for everyone. First up, the 1.8T Quattro, yes, the turbocharged four-cylinder. The base version made 180 horsepower, which wasn't too bad for a car this size. But if you stepped up to the 225 horsepower version, now we're talking 225 horsepower and a turbocharger that was almost too much fun to handle. If you wanted even more power, Audi had a treat for you, the 240 horsepower Quattro Sport. 240 horsepower? Yes, please. And for those who loved a bit of a growl, in 2003, Audi dropped the 3.2 VR6 Quattro with 250 horsepower and a much more refined driving experience. It came with a 6-speed dual-clutch DSG gearbox, which for the time was pure sorcery. The VR6 engine was a legend in itself, and the fact that it came with Quattro all-wheel drive made the car feel like it could take on anything, from rainy streets to mountain roads. Let's talk about what made the Mark I TT so special. Aside from the Quattro system, there was the design. Let's face it, the TT looked like a concept car that somehow made it to production. The round, almost bubble-like shape and the futuristic interior had the whole world wondering what Audi was smoking when they came up with it. And trust me, that's a good thing. The interior was a dream for minimalists. Simple, clean, and focused on the driving experience. But it wasn't just about good looks. The TT was also packed with tech, including the turbocharged engine options, which offered impressive performance for the time. And don't forget the fact that it came with a rear spoiler and stiffer suspension after the infamous handling issues from its early production years. Audi made sure that their little sports coupe didn't just look good, it actually worked at high speeds. In short, it had the looks and the brains. The Mark I Audi TT wasn't exactly born without its controversies. When it first launched in 1998, the car's high-speed handling was, let's say, a bit sketchy. Above 110 miles per hour, the car had a tendency to get a little floaty, a design flaw that led to some high-speed instability and, sadly, a couple of fatalities. Audi wasn't just sitting around after that. They rolled out a major recall with updates that included the ESP stability control system, suspension improvements, and a rear spoiler that did wonders for stability. But here's the thing, after these fixes, the TT became a stable powerhouse. It was a car that wasn't just about being fun on a straightaway, but actually handled like a champ around corners, with its all-wheel drive and sharper suspension. By the time production ended in 2006, Audi had turned the TT into a performance icon. It was no longer just a car for people who wanted to look cool. It was a legitimate contender in the sports car arena. So, what's it like to drive the Mark I Audi TT Quattro? Picture this. You're behind the wheel and every corner feels a little sharper, every acceleration a little more thrilling. The Quattro system makes sure you're glued to the road, and the lightweight body means you can throw the TT around like a go-kart, with none of the drama you might expect from a high-performance car. With the turbocharged 1.8T, you get that satisfying rush when you plant your foot on the accelerator. The car responds quickly and the handling is precise. For the VR6 enthusiasts, you're treated to an engine note that sounds like it was made for back roads and winding hills. And with that DSG gearbox, shifts are quick and smooth, making the driving experience feel more like an extension of yourself than just a car you're driving. For car enthusiasts, the modding potential of the TT Quattro is pretty exciting. You can easily upgrade the turbo on the 1.8T to push the power up, or if you've got a VR6, you've got a solid foundation for performance mods. Suspension upgrades exhaust systems, and custom tunes can give you that extra bit of power. The good news is the TT community is strong and there's no shortage of aftermarket parts to make this car truly your own. Now let's be real, you're not going to find a like-new Mark 1 TT on the market today, but if you're in the mood for some classic fun, you can still pick one up in the used car market. Prices vary depending on the model and condition, but you're looking at around $5,000 to $10,000 for a clean example. For a car this iconic, that's a steal. Now, in terms of competition, the Mark 1 TT faced off with cars like the BMW Z3, Porsche Boxster, and even the Nissan 350Z. The TT held its ground, especially when it came to all-wheel drive and that unique design. Sure, it didn't have the raw power of some competitors, but it made up for it with an unforgettable driving experience and an eye-catching look. The Audi TT Quattro is generally regarded as a reliable car, though, like any vehicle, it has its quirks. The 1.8T engine, when properly maintained, is known for its durability, with many owners reporting high-mileage cars still running smoothly. However, it's important to keep an eye on the turbocharger, as it can wear out over time, especially if the car hasn't been driven gently or maintained regularly. The VR6 engine, found in some later models, is also reliable, though it can be a bit more expensive to maintain due to its complexity. The Quattro all-wheel drive system, which is a standout feature of the TT, is generally robust, but it can be costly to repair if something goes wrong, such as issues with the differential or drive shafts. Regular servicing of the drivetrain is important to keep it running smoothly. As with any car, regular maintenance is key to keeping the TT Quattro running reliably. Owners should be proactive about changing fluids, maintaining the timing belt, and checking for any signs of wear on critical components like the suspension and brakes. Given its age, finding well-maintained examples is crucial, but when looked after, the TT Quattro can be a very dependable and enjoyable car to own. The Mark 1 Audi TT is a car that didn't just age well, it became a legend. This car proved that you didn't have to sacrifice performance for style. It showed the world that compact sports cars could be accessible and affordable without giving up on any of the thrills that come with performance driving. But beyond that, the TT was one of those cars that left a lasting impact on the automotive world. It became the standard by which all small, sporty coupes were measured. Even today, when you look at the TT, it still feels fresh and futuristic, even though it's been over 2 decades since it first hit the streets. It's a car that cemented its place in automotive history, and that legacy lives on in the modern TT, which still echoes the design and driving spirit of the Mark 1. The Audi TT Quattro also made its mark in motorsport, particularly in rallying. The Quattro all-wheel drive system, which was initially developed for rally racing, helped establish the Audi TT as a formidable competitor in motorsport events. In the early 2000s, the TT was used in various racing formats, including the German Touring Car Championship, where its performance in tight corners and on diverse surfaces stood out. Audi also leveraged the TT's technical prowess in endurance racing, demonstrating the car's resilience and engineering under extreme conditions. Though not as iconic as some of Audi's other motorsport machines, the TT Quattro's involvement in racing helped solidify its reputation for performance and precision. Now let's talk about the Mark II Audi TT, which hit the streets in 2006 and took everything the original made us fall in love with and made it even better. The Mark II still had that unmistakable TT design, but this time it was sharper, more aggressive, definitely a more grown-up version of the original. Inside, Audi stepped up the tech game, introducing the virtual cockpit, which felt like something straight out of the future. Under the hood, the MK2 didn't hold back, offering everything from turbocharged 4 cylinders to the 3.2 VR6, all paired with Audi's legendary Quattro all-wheel drive system. So there you have it, the Mark 1 Audi TT Quattro, a car that started with a rough patch, but ultimately became one of the most beloved sports cars of the late 90s and early 2000s. With its performance, design, and that unmistakable Audi spirit, the TT Quattro cemented its place as a true legend. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Audi's most iconic cars, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more content like this. And hey, let me know in the comments, do you think the TT is still a timeless beauty, or has it been surpassed by modern competitors? I'll catch you in the next video.